Welcome back to the ET YouTube channel. My name's Cade and I'm going to show you how to put a skateboard together. Step 1. What are we going to do? Here we have an 8.25 skateboard, one of our ET shop decks. And we have all of our parts here. 144 independent trucks, the hollows, Reds bearings. We got some softer Ricta clouds and some 1-inch hardware. And yeah, let's put it together. So we'll start with, we'll take our hardware, open that up. You want to make sure that it gets pushed all the way through the deck and make sure that all the excess grip pieces get taken off as well. Once you got your hardware in, then put it up and take one of your trucks. Make sure your bushings and kingpin are facing in, and you'll want to line it up and put it with the hardware, and then I'll start to hand tighten my nuts onto it. So usually you would have your skate tool and an Allen key or a screwdriver, but to make it a little faster we'll use a power drill. A little disclaimer, if this hardware is Allen key, so if you have a power drill, be careful with this because it'll rip it out of your hands pretty quick. So I like to kind of tuck it so it doesn't fall, and then make sure you're hooked on and just hold this tight. Alright, for the second truck, make sure kingpin in again so they're facing each other. So make sure when you tighten them down, you're gonna once you do your first one, do the nut that goes diagonal with it so it keeps the base plate even. If you go from one side, it'll start to lift it. So alright, so for wheels, we have the Ricta Clouds. They're 78A, so pretty soft. And we have some Reds bearings here. To put them in, well, there's a few ways to do it. The best way would be the bearing press because that's just the easiest, but ours is broken. So we'll put it on the axle. So you'll want to make sure the shield is out unless you're using a shieldless bearing. And you'll place it down, and then you could kind of just put your wheel on it and plop it in, and then flip it around and do the same thing. And then repeat it until you have all your bearings in the wheels. Your truck should come, when you take this axle nut off, it should come with some little washers, and there should be 2 on there. So you'll want to take one off and then leave one on there so that when you put the wheel on, you'll put the washer back on and then the axle nut back on as well. That'll leave it so when you tighten it, it doesn't make it so the wheel stops. So we'll use the skate tool. There's 3 sizes, so we'll use the medium size. So not the biggest one, that'll control how tight and loose you want your trucks, but a little bit smaller one on the top, and we'll start to tighten this down. And you'll go until you'll feel when you hit the wheel, and then you might want to back it off a little bit, like until so there it hit the wheel so it won't spin. But if we back it off a little bit so there's not much gap but just a bit, then it'll spin. Alright, if you're a small kid, then you might want to just leave the trucks how they are, but some people have different preferences and how they like it, so you can use the biggest side of the skate tool to crank it down, and that'll give it, and then just crank it to what you would think you would like. You can test it on the floor and go toe to heel edge, and it'll start to work itself out. Make sure to keep your board away from the sand and the water, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.